Previously on J6 Flips.
Thank you. Beastie Boys.
Obviously, these shirts change things. We're supposed to be on part 2 of a head-to-head battle between a usual week at the Goodwill versus a few hours at the Goodwill bins, but it's not every day that you find Grails from 1995 of the Beastie Boys vintage single-stitch t-shirts. So we're still going to go forward with the challenge, but we got to look into these a little bit more. This one I'm not even sure about. It's just a random logo, but it is a single-stitch vintage on an anvil tag. This other one is a Pantera shirt on a AAA one. Got some cool bands on the back too, so this one's not as valuable as the other ones, but still a nice find, especially considering the band and the skull and the snake that's on there. This Pantera is on this tag. When it comes to vintage shirts, I'm not really in the know of what's going on, but I know Made in USA is good, and this one's a single stitch as well. And most importantly, this Beastie Boys shirt. It is from 1995, a tour shirt. The only comp I saw was one that sold. It was in way worse condition. There was holes in the sleeves. The ends were coming unhemmed. And that one sold for, believe it or not, $250. Very similar, not exactly the same thing, but definitely similar and from the same year. This one's got the cities on the back as well, but definitely in better shape than that one was. Definitely some nice finds. Let's get to the challenge though. For the sake of this game, we're gonna take out the vintage shirts I got at the end there. Before that, it was a total of 345 potential profits and about 3 hours of thrifting. So we're gonna try to get that much, if not more, at the Goodwill bins within 3 hours. Some stuff, not quite at 350 though. Luckily we got that whole side and all this is new, so now we're starting to make our second round. But let's get to the other half of it first. So we ended up spending 54 bucks for everything we got in there. I mean, we spent almost 3 hours in there, just shy of 3 hours. And we found some stuff. The first half was a lot better than the second half. We almost got stumped in the second half, except for that one shirt with the new tag shirt. So that was helpful, but didn't find anything in the rush at the end. I only dove in because I was telling the Aussie Flipper the other day that I don't really get into the whole fray of everyone going in on the new bins. So only looked at a few things in there, didn't grab anything, but yeah, still a fun trip overall. So obviously everything we've been talking about is comparing the two, but there are a lot of pros and cons to both sides. Pros for the bins, definitely the prices. You pay by the pound, so it's not decided by someone in the back who's pricing everything. It's really just already set, and you know it's going to be cheaper than any other thrift store can provide. There's obviously more inventory because they're cycling through, and it's a one-stop shop. Park once, you go in, you hang out a few hours, you find your things, and you get out. So that's definitely a huge pro rather than driving around spending gas looking at all these other thrift stores and potentially even stopping and finding nothing at one, wasting your time going out of your way. With the bins, it's all in one place. Cons for the bins, obviously there's a lot of other resellers there. We're not all looking for the exact same thing, but we're all looking for similar things, which are the valuable items that could sell for more. When you're in there competing against everyone else, it does make it more challenging. As far as thrift stores go, there's a lot of pros as well. It's organized, you get a first crack at the items. They're not already passed through the system and gotten to the Goodwill bins. You get first crack. It's literally donated, they scan it in the back or they look through it, they price it, and it hits the floor. If you hit the new rack, you literally get first look at it. And there's always nice things at the thrift stores. Sometimes they're just overpriced, especially at Goodwill. Unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. Some of the nicer things they will price up, and sometimes it's worth it still. So with thrift stores, you do have the ability to pay up when necessary. And the thrift store cons, obviously the ever-rising prices. It's on everyone's nerves already, but you gotta deal with it. So that's one big con. And it does seem that the stuff is getting curated in the back too. They do have their own eBay stores, and they're definitely getting it from the same spot. So before it goes through the back and comes out to the front where we can find it, they're definitely looking at it. If it does come up big money, they're probably going to sell it themselves in their own store, which is bad for us, but good for them. That's the game. They can do that, and we just have to keep playing our rules. The lesson for sure is you never know what you'll find at either of them. At the bins, it really is a crapshoot. You're kind of digging through piles, and you don't know what you're going to find. At thrift stores, same process, but you're going to have to pay more. So what's for certain is the best way to find things to flip is to be in the building and ready to find them.